Hey
Good
everybody,
morning.
good morning, good morning, good morning. It'll probably be afternoon when you see this, but still good morning. We are still here in Jamaica. Man, this has been Jamaica, man. See how I did that?
Jamaica man, yeah, I see how you did that, yeah.
We have had just a fantastic time. Welcome to Pillow Talk. Thanks for joining us every week when you do. Today we want to talk on, again, I'm having such a hard time with the number. I think it's 8.
We're just going to talk about one of the main things you can do to keep your marriage strong and powerful and always becoming better.
Right.
We don't ever want people to think that what you see is all that you get. There's always a better version. Woo! Can you hear that ocean? How about that? Right at our feet. But you know, it's kind of like, you need Tuneups. Tuneups are just awareness tools. And we've actually done a pillow talk before on some tune-up options and ideas of how to tune your marriage up. But we just want to touch on that again, as this is something that's vital to keep your marriage fresh and powerful and impactful.
Right.
Because it's not just about having a good marriage so everybody can think, oh, how cute, they have a good marriage. Your marriage was created for a purpose, by God, on purpose, to have impact. We represent God's unconditional love as a couple to the world, and so does your marriage. And it's really important because of that you stay in tune with God, in tune with each other, and that's what we mean by having a tune-up. Make sure that you are regularly checking those parts of your marriage that don't just assume.
Just like in your car, you got the check engine light comes on, the brake light will come on, and those things doesn't mean
light.
The fuel light. Those don't necessarily mean that the car is about to break down, but it means there is a sensor has indicated that there could be potential problems, so you ought to look it over. And anytime that you find yourself, it seems like you're bickering just a little bit more than usually, or maybe you're just not communicating on a regular basis, it's just kind of like you're just passing each other in the hallway and, hey honey, how are you, type stuff, but you're not really getting those good quality time. Those are indicator lights, and what that means is you need a tune-up, and a tune-up just allows you to do the little tweaks before they become major problems. And so, that's in the old days, back when you had spark plugs and stuff in cars, you would actually go in just ever so often and you'd do a complete tune-up, and they'd change the spark plug and check the wires and all that kind of stuff, just to make sure that your connection was good. And that's exactly what we're at.
Good, yeah.
Anytime that we're not growing, we're actually moving backwards. So if we're not improving our marriage by adding those little things, doing the little checkups that we need to do, we're actually just opening the door and we're gradually moving backwards. And the problem is it's kind of like if I throw something out here in this ocean, it would sit here and float and look like it wasn't going nowhere. And then all of a sudden you look up and it'd be so far off the coast that there'd be no way to get out there and get it or even see it. And that's how we do in our life. We just look up and all of a sudden we've ventured off a lot farther than we should. So we want to encourage you to give yourself a tune-up once in a while. And honestly, that's the reason we became marriage coaches, is we do things like the marriage reboot, we do Simbas, we do multiple things that help you stay tuned up so you can have a better marriage. And that's what our goal is to help you thrive and to have great impact in your marriage and do things for God. I mean, if you're fighting at home, you're not gonna be accomplishing things for God.
Right, and that's our marriage purpose, is to maximize and empower you, so that we can help you establish your vision and how that looks and how that you impact the culture, the community, and the families that you're in. I think too, when you said, you talked about the brake lights, the fuel light, things like that. So often we think that anything that's negative means something's wrong. Anything that has health in it, something just bit me. That's healthy. And I'm not saying a negative attitude is healthy. I'm saying that we have to learn to look at things in the light of always moving forward. And that sometimes when you look down and you realize, I've been busy and I realize I'm almost out of fuel.
Right.
Don't ignore that, because then you're going to be that person on the side of the road with an empty fuel tank and somebody has to come tow you or fill your tank up.
Yep.
And that's what a reboot does. A reboot can help you before that happens. It can help you keep your tank full, help you find ways to come together as a couple and uncover and unpack some things that maybe you can't do on your own. It's hard to see the forest for the trees sometimes. So that's where we benefited greatly when we did one, was finding what we need to manage for, what we need to manage against, what our next steps were in every season. Speaking of seasons, that's another time to tune up. You know, if you don't be proactive with the season that you're coming up to, if you've got kids, moms, listen to me, wives, if you have children, do not put your head in the sand. You must begin to think about that before they leave the nest. Don't wake up one day after graduation and think, uh-oh, okay, that is being so naive. Do not be that way. Please do not be that way. Begin to have that conversation so that frustration doesn't build. Because what happens is a lot of marriages make it through that, but a lot of them don't, because they never talk about that ahead of time. They never share their feelings. They never talk about what they're afraid of in that season, and then there's frustration that builds. And then guess what? The frustration gets so big, and now you have nothing to put your energy and love into because your kids are gone. And then bam, you're going different ways, and that's so sad, because that is the biggest thing that the enemy can do to a marriage, is to keep you in frustration by not communicating.
Right. It makes you feel like you're alone, even though you've lived with somebody for maybe 30 years, you know, because you put so much energy into your kids that you forgot to grow together during that time, or career.
Yeah.
So as those times and seasons come to an end, it's really important that you come together, refocus on what you really want, and then develop a plan to get it. That's another thing that we just really love when we do the reboot, is that developing a purpose and a vision and a plan to get there. It's just, it's amazing. So anyway, we're gonna get off here. Thank you again for joining us. We will be posting this soon, and
leave some comments.
Leave comments, yeah.
Leave some, if you have a unique thing that you tune up with, if you have a unique tune-up trick or hack, be sure to post that. That helps people. This is a community of healthy marriages, and we want to share what's healthy in your marriage so it can help somebody else level up. Okay.
Absolutely. Well, have a great one. Go visit our website, Married for Purpose.
That's Greg and Julie's.
That's Greg and Julie's. Go see that one. Foreverwithpurpose.com is ours. So go check it out. See you later.